Dear you, I know exactly what happened when your alarm went off this morning. You opened your eyes, staring at the ceiling in the gray light of dawn, and you did not feel dread. You did not feel anxiety. You did not feel sadness or joy or even exhaustion. You felt absolutely nothing. You simply pushed the blanket aside, placed your feet on the cold floor, and began to execute the flawless, highly optimized routine of your day. You moved through your morning like a perfectly calibrated, incredibly efficient machine. And that is exactly what is secretly terrifying you, isn't it? Welcome to the most deeply misunderstood, invisible crisis of the year 2026. You are not having a breakdown. You are having a shutdown. You are suffering from the terrifying, silent epidemic of the functional freeze. Look at the incredibly successful, unshakable facade you present to the world. From the outside, you are the absolute picture of modern American resilience. You answer the emails, you hit the deadlines, you maintain the relationships, and you navigate the chaotic, high-pressure demands of your life without ever dropping a single ball. People look at you and they think you are incredibly strong. They think you have it all completely figured out. But let us look behind the curtain for just a second. Let us be brutally, painfully honest about what is actually happening inside your nervous system. You are entirely hollowed out. You have survived so much over the last few years. You navigated massive global shifts, economic instability, personal heartbreaks, and the relentless, screaming noise of a society that demands your constant attention. And your brilliant, primitive brain realized something very important. It realized that if you actually processed all of that fear, all of that grief, and all of that overwhelming stress, you would completely collapse. So, your brain did exactly what it was designed to do to keep you alive. It tripped the breaker. It completely shut down the emotional power grid. You have become a magnificent masterpiece of emotional anesthesia. You have compartmentalized your feelings so perfectly and buried them so deeply that you can walk through a raging fire without even feeling the heat. But there is a devastating, tragic cost to this survival strategy. When you numb the dark emotions, you accidentally numb the light ones too. Do you remember the last time you felt a genuine, uncontrollable burst of joy? Not just a polite smile, not just a logical recognition that something good had happened. I mean a visceral, electric surge of happiness that made your chest physically ache. I know you cannot remember, because you are living your entire life behind a thick, impenetrable pane of frosted glass. You sit at dinner with your friends. You hear them laughing, and you intellectually know that you should be happy. But the feeling just does not reach your bones. You watch a beautiful, tragic movie and your eyes remain entirely dry. You achieve a massive, lifelong goal, and instead of celebrating, you just mentally check a box on a list and move on to the next task. It makes you feel like a monster, doesn't it? You lie awake in the dead of night, and a freezing, terrifying thought echoes in your mind. Have I lost my humanity? Is my soul completely gone? Why can I not just feel alive like everybody else? You feel a profound, crushing guilt for being so incredibly numb to your own existence. You are physically breathing, your heart is pumping blood, but you are operating strictly on an automatic pilot. You are a ghost, peacefully and efficiently haunting the corridors of your own life. It is an exhausting, desperate way to live. You are terrified of the numbness, yes. But if we are being completely honest, you are even more terrified of what will happen if the numbness ever fades. You know that there is a massive, raging ocean of unprocessed grief, anger, and exhaustion waiting just behind the dam. You are absolutely convinced that if you let yourself feel just one tiny fraction of it, if you let a single tear fall, you will completely shatter into a million unfixable pieces. So, you keep the shield up, you keep moving, you keep optimizing, planning, and executing, desperately hoping that if you just stay busy enough, you will never have to face the terrifying silence inside your own chest. You are so deeply, profoundly tired of being strong. You are starving for a single drop of real emotion, but you are completely paralyzed by the fear of drowning in it. Take a very slow, deliberate breath. I need you to close your eyes right now and gently place your hand directly over the center of your chest. Press down until you can physically feel the steady, rhythmic beating of your own heart. Listen to my voice and let this profound truth wrap around your exhausted soul. You are not a machine. You are not a monster. You are a deeply sensitive, incredibly brave human being whose nervous system is just trying to keep them safe. But the emergency is over. I am giving you the absolute, undeniable permission to finally thaw out. It is time to commit the most radical, courageous act of the modern era. You must intentionally lower the shield. You must invite the terrible, beautiful, chaotic mess of your own emotions back into your physical body. Yes, it is going to hurt. When the blood finally rushes back into a frozen limb, it burns. When you first open the gates, you might feel a sudden, terrifying wave of anger or an overwhelming, inexplicable urge to cry for hours. Let it happen. Do not fight it. Do not analyze it. Do not try to neatly categorize it into a psychological framework. Just let the dam break. The tears will not destroy you. The anger will not consume you. They are simply the physical evidence that you are finally coming back to life. Every single tear you shed is a brilliant, undeniable proof that your magnificent soul is still intact. You are safe enough now to feel the pain. You are strong enough now to process the grief. Tomorrow morning, I want you to start breaking the routine of the functional freeze. Do not immediately look at the schedule. Do something completely inefficient and purely sensory. Walk outside barefoot and feel the freezing, wet grass against your skin. Turn the shower water completely cold for 30 seconds just to shock your nervous system awake. Listen to a piece of music so incredibly loud and heartbreaking that it forces you to feel something, anything, vibrating in your chest. Reclaim the wild, unpredictable terrain of your own heart. You do not have to be the unshakable, perfectly optimized anchor anymore. The world does not need your flawless efficiency. The world desperately needs your raw, unfiltered, deeply feeling presence. Forgive yourself for shutting down. It was the only way you knew how to survive the storm. But the storm has passed. The sun is shining. The air is warm, and the ice is finally ready to melt. Drop the heavy armor of your own numbness. Breathe the thick, vibrant, emotional air of the physical world. You are entirely ready to be vulnerable again. Now, open your eyes and welcome yourself back to the beautiful land of the living.